So what you're seeing here, of course, is what's called an audio precision power curve. It looks at THD versus power. And this one has 3 impedances on it. If you guys have looked at home amplifiers or some certain other brands, there are some brands that will show something like this, especially in the home audio world. So what you'll notice about this amp, especially for an SPL amplifier and being a big sub, this is the 4-channel, big 4-channel amplifier, the THD starts below 0.1 THD, even from the beginning, right? So that tells you the noise floor of the amplifier is very low. Power comes straight across, stays right about that 0.1 area, all the way until you hit what's basically the voltage rail of the amplifier. And on a perfect amplifier, this would be a flat line going over with a hard angle when it hits it. This is really close, right? It stays really low. When you get out of the what's called synchronized switching down low, about 10 watts, it changes to unsynchronized. That's why your THD gets right up to 0.1 there. As that comes across, you make flat power all the way until you hit the voltage wall. And as you can see, pretty much a perfect curve going up, each one of them until they hit 1% power. They continue to make a little bit more power as they go up to 10, as you'll see when we do the lab work today. All of these amps sound good, are clean, and have a nice low noise floor, so you're not listening to a bunch of hissing and popping and stuff going on in the background while you're working on it.
When we did our last Kicker U in-house training, one of our guests said, why is signal to noise ratio important in amplifiers? And this is a guy that does a lot of really big PA-style audio systems. And so I said, you've got to think about when you're using super high efficiency output drivers like Street Series, they're very, very sensitive. If there's any noise coming from the amplifier, you're going to hear it in that system, especially at low volumes. And then when you crank it up, it just gets sort of nasty and crunchy sounding because all the noise from the amplifier is getting amplified. So to have 1,000 watts of truly clean noise-free amplifier is incredible.
Yeah, it is. And on top of that, right, like what we don't talk about is gain. So what are you doing when you do gain? Right? You're making the amplifier more sensitive.
Yes.
So if the amplifier becomes more sensitive, what happens to the noise?
It adds more.
And so any noise in the front end, any noise in the amplifier, all of that gets louder and louder and louder.
Right.
So that's why you guys talk in training and why we talk so much about keep the gain at minimum, find a way to get voltage ahead of time, bring the signal up. Like, try to keep your amp gain low. The best signal, the best sound you're going to get is when the amp's gains are at min and everything else is set up in front of it to keep the voltage high and the noise low.
Right.
So that's an important thing when you're trying to get loud without having hiss.